Hi, this is Curt, and welcome to another edition of Fire Law Roundup.
Let's go to one where I really disagree with this city. Colorado Springs, which, every time we talk about Colorado Springs, in the fire world, this is a sacred place to us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is where they have the National Fallen Firefighters a memorial, not the only one, but memorial. So here, let's just get the facts out, and then you and I will throw everybody else under the bus. So, and maybe you want to kind of take the stance or not of the union's position, because they said it very eloquently. But here's what we have. We have a Colorado Springs firefighter. You and I covered this, and I think you maybe link back to it or something, but they're facing criminal charges, which blows my mind. And we'll go through very quickly. They were driving a brush truck, and to a fire in a park. It was inaccessible by surrounding roads. So he's going down a dirt path, right? This is not going to be a perfectly smooth, you can see everything, whatever. He drives over what appears to be debris. Okay, well, that's what we do with brush trucks. And it turns out there's a 76-year-old homeless woman, apparently under the debris, blankets, other items, who dies. He runs her over, all right? And he now is sued. We covered this before.
He's charged criminally.
He's charged criminally. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And but there was also a lawsuit. I think
there no doubt will be a lawsuit.
I thought that was part of our first stuff. In any event,
could be. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
And he's charged with careless driving resulting in a death, which is amazingly only a misdemeanor, right? When you just read the charge, it sounds like it should be a felony. But nonetheless, here's what's holding. The city said, you're on your own. We're not providing a defense for you, which is crazy to me, because if there's a civil lawsuit, you're just giving up. The standard in a lawsuit is much lower. The burden of proof is much lower in a lawsuit than it is beyond a reasonable doubt in criminal proceedings. So if this goes to trial, and if this person can't afford a good, competent attorney, and if a jury finds and holds, right, that he was beyond a reasonable doubt driving careless, that civil suit against the city is over. So they're hanging him out to dry for something which is so easily explainable. I didn't expect to have a homeless person lying in a dirt path. Now, there are some allegations, right? Well, maybe it was a park, and the park is known to have homeless people, and we've had training all the time that says, you could throw a lot of facts in to change things, right? To say we all know there's homeless people sleeping everywhere. But whether that makes you careless or not as a criminal matter and civil matter, but all that's happening here is they're saying, the city saying, you're on your own, we're not paying for your defense. I think that's a very bad choice for a lot of reasons. The union is up in arms, and the union, in my personal opinion, is correct. This is a bad tactical move. You're basically throwing him, I hate to use this phrase, throwing him under the bus, right? A bad phrase to use. But you're, sorry. Let's just edit that right out. So you're basically throwing him under the bus. And you're going to lose later. Yeah. Right? You're going to lose later.
What certainly shows how this is a criminal case, but it certainly has civil consequences. And just for the record, you and I discussed this back in November. I blogged about it on November 15th, but it was there's no civil suit to the best of my knowledge as of right now.
There will be.
There likely will be, but
she's got to have a surviving family to find.
He was charged, and again, we covered this November 15th. So right now it's just criminal, but obviously there's the potential for a wrongful death lawsuit
if they can find her family.
Right.
You got to have somebody to sue as an estate in her name. Sure. Being homeless, maybe not. Who knows?
Sure. So, but again, this is one of those examples where a line of duty activity, I mean, change the facts a little bit. Let's say it was an incident commander who made, a decision that led to someone's death, and the department, he's charged, we've seen incident commanders, we've seen apparatus drivers charged with manslaughter and other types of homicide related, negligent homicide, and so on. So, the potential here is for liability for the community. You would think the community would want to at least control the defense as far as that, or make sure that the firefighter has adequate representation. Otherwise, it could come back and create a problem. I think we saw that, and I can't think of the case, but there was a recent Kansas City. Remember the Kansas City case?
Yeah.
Now that was all civil, but basically the city got the idea that, well, you know, what you did was so outrageous, we're not going to cover you. And the firefighter said, "Oh yeah, okay." So he goes to the plaintiff's attorneys and says, "Okay, I'll settle. How much? 20 million. Okay, 20 million.
Assign the case.
Assign the case, and now, you know, it's off to the races here." So I don't know, but apparently they said that there was some sort of a ordinance or something that prohibited the city from paying for criminal defense types of things, which I think in many cases makes sense, but in this case
Doesn't.
you know, you want to make sure that this firefighter gets the best legal representation possible, and that the criminal charges are either dismissed or you get a not guilty finding ruling. And you know, again, the union president came out and said it. First of all, it sends a terrible message. Absolutely, you know, that the city doesn't have your back. Okay, forget the message for a minute. How about the taxpayers? Because if he's found guilty, there's a pretty significant, you know, consequence to the taxpayers. So.
Yeah. Horrible, bad tactical decision. But I will, you know, as I'm thinking about it, you know, they may not care. I'll tell you why. They may know that the decedent has no relatives and there's no one to commence a lawsuit. They may not be, it's a homeless person. You never know. They may be saying, you know what? We don't have a notice of claim. There's no.
Let me make a prediction. Let me make a prediction. Somebody's going to come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, no question.
It might even be an attorney who maybe represented her earlier in her life and is going to say, I'll get myself appointed as the executor.
Exactly.